Last season, Cesc Fàbregas helped Como achieve promotion to Serie A as the assistant manager, assistant in inverted commas. He was actually the manager, but because he didn't have a UEFA license, Como had to go and really hire someone that had an actual license to be the manager. From the 1st of July, Cesc Fàbregas has officially been appointed as the new manager of Como. Here's how you can successfully set out his tactics in FC24. So the formation that I've gone with is the 4-4-2 holding for this Cesc Fàbregas system. Now, essentially, if you did watch the coach's voice, he does speak about playing his side in a 4-2-2 system, and that is essentially what this is. It's a backline of 4 players, 2 DMs, 2 center forwards, and then 2 wider players that do tend to hang further up the field and can be the outlet ball with those runs in behind, or just being able to be the direct force in the attacking play. Now, with the 2 strikers being set to center forwards, having them almost play as number 10s as well, it can help them drop quite deep and help facilitate in the midfield zones, and even dropping so deep that they might be involved in the first phase build of play, which you do see quite often with this Cesc Fàbregas team. And of course, with a few additions to the side in Varane, Moreno, the likes of Andrea Bellotti, 2 new goalkeepers in Lopez and Reina, and maybe even the addition of Rodri as a left midfielder or potentially even a right midfielder, I think that this side is shaping up to be a very good dark horse in next season's Serie A campaign. The tactical approach of Cesc Fàbregas and this Como side very much does align with the tactical vision being set to wing play, looking to try and work the ball into those wider channels, stretch the play as best as possible, and then look to try and manipulate and execute in those spaces that are made available just by you simply stretching the play from the opposition. Now, in terms of the defense and the defensive style, I have set this to pressure on heavy touch. You do see them more or less look to try and work into their natural shape and structure, and then look to occasionally press and probe. And if there is a mistake or a misplaced pass that the team can go ahead and capitalize on, you will see them effectively looking to shift gears and work into that transitioning moment and attack the opposition's, goal. Now, for the other defensive instructions, the team width will be set to 30 and the team's depth will be set to 60. You do want to have a decent mid block, and I think maybe next season we will see Cesc Fàbregas essentially, alter between having a mid block and having a low block at times, especially against teams like Juventus or Inter Milan or AC Milan, the bigger sides that will look to try and dominate a side like Como. But if they do get their recruitment correct, the tactics, the instructions, the quality of the side, I do think that it will allow for a bit more of a confidence approach when playing those bigger sides. Now, in terms of the team's width, I have set this to 30, which is borderline a very compact, condensed central structure, but not necessarily always playing in a very compact structure, focusing on the central areas. They can match up in a man-v-man system, but they will try and shrink the natural shape of the side to try and deter and prevent the opposition from having a lot of midfield freedom in order to try and dictate their offensive play. For the offensive approach for the Como side, the build-up play should be set to maintaining a balanced approach, and the chance creation should be set to direct passing. Now, again, going back to the coach's voice, Fàbregas speaks about playing out from the back. He speaks about maintaining possession, but he also says he doesn't want his side aimlessly having possession, looking to just to keep the ball for the sake of keeping it. And this is quite a nice approach, especially from a man who's had a manager of Jose Mourinho, a manager of Antonio Conte, but also a man who's, been coached under the likes of Arsene Wenger and, Pep Guardiola. They do need to have possession. They will look to build out from the back and build their offense, but they can also look to go and have a bit more of a direct approach, having those wingers spinning behind, having occasionally one of the strikers dropping deep, collecting the ball, and then the other striker feeding off that player and working into the space. And that's more or less what you are going to be looking for. And that's why a balanced approach will help the team maintain its structure, but also implement both the quick transitions as well as the slow build-up play. Now, again, for the direct passing phases, it will encourage your forwards, in terms of your center forwards and your 2 wingers, to make those aggressive runs in behind. And even on the odd occasion, you will see that midfield box formulate between the center forwards and the DMs. And you will occasionally see one of the DMs venturing further forward, sometimes even swapping places and positions with one of the center forwards and looking to attack the open and available space. Now, again, we have said that they do like to build up from the back. They do like those short interchanging passes, but they can also look to go long, whether it's the goalkeeper or one of the centre backs collecting the ball and spraying that ball further forward into either the forward line or into the available space in behind the opposition's backline area. In terms of the offensive width, I have set this to 60, as you do want to try and compact in those central areas while still having a few players in the wider channels looking to try and stretch the play, and that will mainly be your fullbacks and your wingers, due to the fact that you do want quite a few players in the box ready and waiting for the potential cutbacks and crossing opportunities that those wider players will definitely go ahead and provide. And then finally, the corners and the free kicks should be set to 4. So people, onto the individual player roles and instructions, starting off at the back with the goalkeeper in Lopez. Now, I have heard that Pepe Reina is the favored #1 choice, but I think that Paul Lopez, signed from Marseille, I think he might be a better option in terms of having a goalkeeper that is capable of playing out from the back, playing under pressure, playing with his feet, looking to find those acute passes either into the defenders or the midfielders, or even further forward into the front line. So for his role and instructions going forward, you want him to be able to come for crosses, looking to alleviate the stress and the pressure from those, aerial threats from the opposition. Play him as a sweeper keeper. Now, essentially, you are playing a mid block. It is a slightly higher mid block, but it is still a mid block. But you do want that security blanket, and having a goalkeeper that can run off of his line and minimize the threats in behind your backline could be a massive plus for the side. The two centre backs of Varane and Barber will be set to conservative interceptions. You don't want them being too aggressive and stepping up and stepping out. And essentially, with this conservative approach, it will help them maintain their backline shape and structure. Of course, the addition of Varane will definitely bring a lot more leadership to that backline area, as well as having a very good ball-playing centre-back. Not an elite ball-playing centre-back, but a centre-back that can cope under pressure from a certain press from the opposition and be able to successfully play it out from the back. The two fullbacks in Levine and Moreno will have the same instructions, and that will be conservative interceptions. Other than that, all the other instructions are set to the base. Now, we do see that Fabregas does like his fullbacks having a very mixed role, looking to try and lend a helping hand or support in the build-up play, looking to either enter the midfield zones or stay out wide and be a passing option along the touchline areas, as well as he does like them being able to occasionally get forward or at times stay further back, which is exactly why I've left this to balance, as it does provide a good solid approach in having your fullback potentially go ahead and attack the opportunity if it is there. But otherwise, you don't really need to change too much about the two fullbacks, and they do provide a good support structure to either the the wingers in those wider areas, or alternatively, a good defensive support for them as well. A midfield double pivot of Abdigal as well as Belemo will essentially be the heart and soul and the engine room of the side. Both of them will very much be involved in both the offensive and defensive phases of play, at least from what I've seen and what I've heard the likes of Cesc Fàbregas talk about. He does want his or the base of his midfield to be very involved in that first phase build-up play, whilst also being very proactive with their passes and also looking to move into the space further forward. Now, that sometimes does mean that they do tend to overlap and run past the strikers and get into the box and get into those attacking areas themselves, which is exactly what these instructions, which are set to identical instructions for both, will do for the team. So you want them to be set to cut passing lanes, and this will help them maintain that nice zonal approach, drifting along the back four, looking to break up the play and disturb the offensive rhythm that the opposition might be trying to generate, as well as maintaining an attacking support of a balanced attack. Now, you will have this nice box-to-box presence, like I've mentioned. It can sometimes catch you out, especially if one of your, DMs has ventured further forward and one of your centre forwards hasn't really dropped into that space. But more times than not, you will see a very solid relationship formulate between the two centre forwards and the two DMs that can allow this to successfully happen in the game. The interceptions will be set to normal, and then finally, you want them to be the deep-lying playmaker, dropping into that half space, showing for the ball in that first phase build-up play, whilst also looking to cover the central zones. Now, into your two centre forwards, and they will also have identical roles and instructions. So we do want them to have that balanced approach for the natural width of the side, looking to sometimes peel off the backline and drift into those slightly wider areas, or alternatively, stay in those central zones and attack the space centrally. Most importantly, though, for the attacking runs, you want them to both play as false nines. This will help them drop quite deep at times, link with the two DMs and even with the centre-backs in that first phase build-up play, dropping quite deep and either drawing in the two centre-backs into that deeper midfield area, opening up a lot more space, or alternatively, dropping quite deep and having a lot of space to function in, especially if the centre-backs don't follow them into the midfield zones, which can help the likes of Como essentially play football the way that Cesc Fàbregas wants them to, especially if you have two vacant, always available passing options in that frontline area. The interceptions will be set to normal, and then finally you want both of them to come back on defense, and this will also help him drop into those deeper pockets of space, drop into the midfield zones, and combine with the other players in those deeper areas. As you'll see here, for the other centre forward, he's got the same instructions as well. Now out wide into Rodri and Strafeza. Now essentially Rodri hasn't been confirmed yet. There's no here we go as of yet, but I do think that because Como have been so aggressive with pursuing the likes of Lopez, Reina, Varane, Belotti of course, I do think that Rodri would be a perfect signing on either the left or the right flank for the side, and I do think that that is a signing that will inevitably get done. Now again, for your two wider players, your two wingers, they will also have the same instructions, a very symmetrical formation and, you know, structure to the side. So you want them to maintain a basic defensive support. So they will at times drop a bit deeper, especially against the bigger sides, drop a bit deeper, support the fullbacks, and make sure that they are trying to support the structure of this defense. But at times as well, they will be the outlet ball. You do want them to hang further up the field. You do want them to be able to play off of the last man, spin in behind, spin into the space, and attack that space with their pace. So a balanced approach will help them implement this very nicely. The chance creation will be set to maintaining a balanced width. You want them out wide at times, but you also sometimes want them to drift inside, especially if the two centre forwards have dropped quite deep. So you would want your two wingers to at times attack the half space or even attack the central spaces themselves. One of the most important features for their instructions going forward will be getting behind, paired up with get into the box. This will help them arc their runs into the box whilst also looking to attack the space and pose as that direct attacking force, having the goalkeeper have an option higher up the field to fire that ball into the space or one of the centre backs potentially, and looking just to stretch the game on a vertical plane, looking for those forward passes to be played into them further up the field or just in behind the opposition's backline defense. And then finally, for the interceptions, it should be set to normal. As you'll see here for Strafeza, he's got the same role and instructions as well. Both of your wingers will pose as incredible threats down either channel and look to break in behind as much as possible. And there we go, people. That is how I would successfully go ahead and implement Cesc Fàbregas' Como 1907 tactics into FC24. If you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to smash the like button. It would mean the absolute most to yours truly, as well as if you are interested and you have a Discord, join our Discord server, the Brom Squad Gaming Discord server. We chat everything football, we chat football tactics, we chat FC24 tactics, and all that good stuff. Now, I do also know that Cesc Fàbregas doesn't really set aside out in this particular formation, although it kind of does, but it's more so a 4-4-2 system or even a 4-2-3-1 system, having an attacking midfielder and a striker up front. But more naturally, in order to get the best out of this Como side and successfully go ahead and implement the tactics, this is more or less the shape and structure that they tend to take up, especially in that build-up play. And that's why I have set them out in this particular way. But you guys will have to let me know down below how you like the tactics and all that good stuff. But anyways, we are going to hop on into the gameplay where you guys can see these tactics in full effect. Okay, people, kicking off versus Bologna. And it should be a very tasty affair. Now, we will see some good solid pressing from the forward line, looking just to win the ball back, and we have done so with great effect. But Belotti dropping into the space and laying it off into the wide man, Strafeza. God, I can't think of the names. My bad, my mistake. But nonetheless, winning the ball back, looking to regain possession, and then looking to attack. And as you'll see here, we are looking just to rotate possession. Not for having possession's sake, but looking just to stretch the play from the opposition, work the ball into Belotti, who fires the ball into the back of the net. And just 6 minutes in, we've won the ball back, we've rotated play, and we've managed to put the ball in the back of the net through our star striker in Andrea Belotti. Varane is over, he's having a great time. The fans in the stadiums, they're having a great time. Bologna couldn't keep us out with their weak defensive structure and efforts. And a great play from the defensive midfielder, who does get nice and high up the field on the edge of the box and finds a great pass into the man who puts it into the back of the net. Fantastic scenes, 1-0 to the good. Quite often you'll see the fullbacks are very much the recovery guys in this great tackle from Varane. That's just experience. But quite often you will see the fullbacks, because they don't always get forward, they will be very involved in looking to recover the ball from those wider sections of the field, which is a good defensive layer of protection. Bologna, they're now looking to establish their offensive play, but as you'll see there, we've managed to collect the ball from the player there with the right back, and just progress it further forward. And Bologna are not looking to press, which is in a way really good for us because we have a lot more space then to go ahead and play in. Palermo just losing the ball there, unfortunately. And also another great factor about not having the two fullbacks bomb consistently up the field is the fact that you don't necessarily leave your back or your two centre backs high and dry, which is also a nice factor. Out wide now into Rodri. Rodri might look to Mota. Into the DM, who has been looking to play in the likes of Andrea Bellotti, who has peeled off of the back line, and he is looking to supply the ball in the box. Oh my god, it's a great effort off the post. Wow. Bellotti with a fantastic bit of off-the-ball movement into the space, opening up a lot of space centrally for the attackers to go on and try and exploit, and they just were unable to put the ball in the back of the net. But again, some brilliant defensive play from Rafael Varane. We are looking to play in Rodri, who is a natural left-footed crosser of the ball, and he's put too much on it, and it's led to a breakdown in the offensive play. And we're not really fazed by what Bologna might have to do or offer. Although, if they try and stretch the play here, Rafael Varane gets caught out, and it leads to a great goal. Okay, well, against the run of play, we've conceded. I couldn't get a hold of the correct player, but that's a poor excuse because the defensive structure should have been a bit better. I did take out some of my defenders there, and it wasn't great. Anyways, we go again, we build again. It should probably be like 2-1, if not more. We've created some really good opportunities in this first half, so we are a bit gutted to not necessarily have the lead going forward, and we've turned the ball over yet again, and that's going to be half time. 1-1 apiece. Bologna very much scoring against the run of play. It's been a lot of we have dictated the pace of this game, and I do like how the tactics have been displaying maybe a bit more ability to plat from the back, although they haven't really applied that much pressure to us. So okay, so just taking a look at the halftime stats, Como with 59% possession compared to 41% from Bologna, and really in that final 5 to 10 minutes or so, Bologna started playing a bit more football. They started playing out from the back. They started interchanging a lot more passes. They've got 29 passes compared to our 58, which I think is double if my math serves me correctly. 12 tackles to their 3, so we are very proactive when out of possession of the ball. A pass accuracy of 93% with a dribble success rate of 92. You will see here that a lot of our possession is maintained in those central areas because we are essentially establishing a very solid box formation with the two centre forwards combining frequently with the two defensive midfielders looking to overwhelm Bologna in those central areas. Now, essentially, if we had taken our chances when we did, we would have won the ball back multiple times in the midfield zones and pushed the ball up and scored quite a few goals. Now, essentially, that is what you are going to be trying to do on a regular basis. But you can also see that Bologna's midfield 3 can't really deal with who to mark and who to pick up, which is allowing for a lot more space to be exploited from the wider players as well as the two centre forwards. And as you'll see here with the passes from that first half, a lot of passes exchanged between 77, 28 and 14, that nice L shape. But otherwise, there's been a lot of passes interchanged. Maybe we need to go a bit more down the right-hand side, down the likes of Strafeza, looking to try and work that space. But I honestly can't really complain too much. Again, maybe another nitpicking thing could be we do need to play out a bit more with the goalkeeper, looking to invite the press, invite that Bologna pressure, and look to play through them, and then effectively work into that space. But otherwise, it's been a very good, solid first half for these tactics. Okay, we're going to be kicking things off here in the second half. It's all to play for, all square at 1 apiece. Abisha looking to work his way down this right-hand side. He's whipped in a fantastic cross at the back post, and it's a great goal. Oh my goodness me. Great ball into space here. Great ball, Strafeza looking to work the ball into the box, into the centre forward, and the goalkeeper this time has made a great save. We are going to be supplying a few more crossing opportunities for the two centre forwards to go on and attack. Rodri whipping in a great ball at the back post, and there we go. It's all square. That's 2-2 apiece. Thank you very much. A brilliant set piece maneuver. Rodri with the assist, Barber with the goal, and it's all to play for yet again. 2-2. It's a high scoring affair, and that's something that you guys might want to see. That is something that you guys definitely might want to see. But to be honest, like, if you improve the overall quality of the individuals, this system works very nicely. Orsolini this time looking to work his way down the left-hand channel or our left-hand channel. There, right. And again, looking just to play it from the back. Just rotate possession, rotate possession. Look at that. Look at the right back getting forward there. Overlapping, overloading, overwhelming. Back part, cut back opportunity, and it's now 3-2 in our favor. We've put the whole goddamn game on its head. That's what you want to see, some brilliant play. And that's what I meant when I was talking about, you know, the fullbacks won't always be bombing forward, but when they do, it is an overload down either flank, and it does create great opportunities for the players in the box, which is fantastic scenes as we take a 3-2 lead in a very hard-fought game. Here we go. Great defensive bit of work from the fullback in that area. They've got a corner kick, and that might lead to a dangerous moment for either team here, as we might be able to counter-attack. Rafael Varane's massive header clears the immediate danger. Rafael Varane, yet he is Rolls-Royce. Rolls goddamn Royce. Playing it out from the back. Playing it out further forward here. Back into the midfield. Out wide into the fullback, who will be looking to get forward in this situation. Into the centre forward. And look at that. Look at that easy space run into from Belotti. Takes it around the man, and he puts it well wide of the mark. It could be 4-2. It should be 4-2. We worked the space. We played through their press. We opened up backline holes. We've exploited them, but we haven't put the ball in the back of the net. Now, they are going to look to build out from the back potentially, or are they going to go more direct, more longer with it? And they have chosen the latter option. There we go. There we go. A 3-2 win. Fantastic scenes. It could have been 4. It could have even been 5 with some of the chances that we missed in this game. But that is the tactics as a whole. You guys can let me know down below in the comment section how you like them, if you like them, and what changes I might be able to make in order to really, like, make it even more realistic. But to be honest, I think that these are pretty goddamn realistic if you ask me. And the full-time stats read as a 55% possession to 45% possession in favor of Como. Now, of course, our possession stats did go down in that second half. But again, referring back to what Cesc Fàbregas stated, he doesn't just want his side having the ball, rotating it for the sake of doing so. He wants direct play. He wants a lot of passing, or forward passes. He wants a lot of movement into those forward areas. And that was something that we did focus on that led to 2 fantastic goal scoring opportunities in the second half, especially after we went a goal down. Let's not forget that. Expected goals of 2.8 compared to 1.3, and they scored 2 goals from that. That's pretty good considering. And we had 40 passes more than them with 21 tackles. So a very proactive team when out of possession of the ball. Always looking to try and win it back. Always looking to try and put their bodies on the line and make sure that they are trying to break up and disturb any rhythm that the opposition might be trying to generate. But anyways, those are the tactics. Those are the instructions and everything like that. You guys will have to let me know down below how you like them. Anyways, until the next time, until the next one, I hope you have a smashing goddamn day, and I'm out of here. Peace.